Welcome back to Buckle Up. We are your Big Drag entertainment and edutainment, I should say. And this next section is definitely going to be educational. Again, I feel like I get to say this for almost every guest that I have on, but Vauna, I'm here with Vauna Walker, and she really is absolutely one of my favorite people to visit with at every buckle event, every barrel race that I get to see her. She is just one of the most humble yet successful people that I've really admired for a long time in the sport. So Vauna, thank you for taking a few minutes to visit. And how is your week kicking off so far?
Well, I feel pretty good about my week. I ran a 17.6 today, and I want to clean that up a little bit and come back faster tomorrow, but I feel pretty good. We left the barrels up, and it's a big race. It's fun. The ground felt great, so it's good.
Wonderful. That's a great way to start it off with a good, solid, clean run like that. You now, how many horses are you competing on this week?
Just one horse. She's the only one we have left at this point in time, and she's Pink Buckle. She's been really fun. She's a Blazing Jetalina, and out of a Dash to Fame mare, DTF Melodoc. And so she's really fun. She's got a nice personality. She's calm, quiet, fun to run.
And you've had a good year on her, right? I mean, there's been some other successes on her as well. Tell me about that.
Yeah, she's been great. And I feel like I've been able to count on her almost everywhere I've taken her. She won the Run for the Rose, or Run at the Rose, that Taylor and Caleb put on in Colorado. And that was really fun. She just worked really well there. She was kind of really starting to come together and be so consistent there. And she has been since then, too. She placed in the Colorado Classic the next week, and pretty much everywhere we've been.
That's very exciting. And is she on to some new adventures after this event? Is that what I heard correctly?
She is. She's going to go to new owners, and I'm going to let them announce that. But they're really excited. The girl came and spent a week with me and rode everywhere. We went on trail rides. We rode up through the sand dunes and down to the river. Wow. Just had a great time, and she got along really well with her, made some runs on her. So we're pretty excited. I think she'll campaign her really well. Wants to rodeo on her, so that's going to be fun.
How exciting. I bet that brings you so much joy to train these horses and make these young horses and then really hand place where they get to go. What are some best practices that you've learned there for pairing up rider-horse combos?
That's a good question. I like to have them come and ride and kind of just watch. I never tell them much about how to ride the horse. I don't tell them, I don't give them a lot of instruction. I like to just give them let them get their saddle and bridle out, do their thing, and just watch how it goes. Mm-hmm. You can usually tell a lot just from that alone. Mm-hmm. And I just like to feel good that they kind of get each other. And sometimes you can kind of tell that it's not, they'll make them uneasy But I love it. When you see that matchup, you know it when you see it. Mm-hmm. So it's fun.
How exciting. And that's, like I said, that's just got to bring a lot of years of joy to be able to look and see all the great horses that you've trained and that they're continuing to win for other people and other people running them. I would love to know what you look for in a young prospect. You guys are so good at picking out those young horses, and I know that you aim to get the best prospects that you can into your program. So how do you do that?
Well, we don't go through a lot of them. We kind of choose. We try to stick with some bloodlines. Randy has kind of researched that. He's observed for years kind of what I get along with, and typically it's a pretty free running horse. Mm-hmm. And so from there, I get on them, and there's just things you like the feel of them. I like them to feel really reachy, really free. I'll spend some time, if they're kind of hot and they feel like they're going to get pressured, maybe want to ride. I'm willing to spend a lot of time with those because they can get so good. If you get those free running horses and get them kind of in your, so it works. They just listen to you and pay attention. They're so much fun to run. I love those.
So you would say you almost go, bloodlines definitely take bloodlines into account, but you go a lot by the feel and the movement of the horses. Am I hearing that right?
Exactly. There's just certain things I like, and sometimes it's hard to even articulate, but the easy way to say it is I really like him. If I really like the horse, it's going to be really easy and really fun to put that work into them. Mm-hmm. And so we try to really go, you know how some horses you've got on and you just, you don't enjoy them as much for one reason or another. Some people don't like them to be too hot or too fussy. I usually don't mind that at all. But when I have that feeling like I really like them, that's what I pay attention to.
That's great advice, and I hope we all take note of that, of learning yourself and learning what you like. And of course, you have a great track record to look back on as well. Many years of success. But I would love to know, how have you and Randy found what really works well for you guys in terms of you like to buy young prospects, train them, you love to compete on them. How long and how did you guys go about finding out what really suits you as a couple and suits your lifestyle?
I think I just happened on to a few. I rode horses for a long time, ever since I was little. And I began to find, early on that there were certain kind of horses that I liked. And it was those horses that I think I might have described this before. When you have them out and you're riding somewhere, you come to a creek, they don't want to cross it. They're scared, they're young and they're scared. And if you just sit there and kind of wait, keep asking them a little, those horses that I really like are those ones that sit there and they get a little nervous and then it's like, okay, I'm just going to go. And they go. And you know how that is. Sometimes those horses will just sit there. It's like, okay, if you're not going to make me, I'm not going to go. Mm-hmm. I don't get along as well with those. So I don't know. It's trial and error probably over time. So I had quite a few opinions, even before I ran barrels. I had a lot of opinions on what I liked in a horse. Yeah. But so kind of trial and error, I guess, there.
I would love to go a little more tactical with my next question. What are some of your go-to drills and things that you find yourself returning to bring these horses along, or even to help, sharpen in between events?
Well, I have a lot of little things that I do, and some of it doesn't make any sense to other people. But kind of my concept with these horses is that I like to do, I'll do a 2-barrel drill. That the concept is you go big, you go little, then you go to the other barrel. The concept is, especially if there's kind of been a problem with a turn or if they're not moving their feet, you keep them going till they give some improvement. I don't like to get them upset and pressured and feeling like they're in trouble. But if you just ride them down till they get tired and don't give up till they give you a little bit, that's kind of my philosophy behind it. So there's a lot of little things I do, and I watch other people. I'll watch a drill. I love that drill where you circle the barrel and you go in and circle the barrel close. And you go big and you go little, and you're looking for that distance to stay equal all the way around the barrel and nice round turns. It's just a nice little brush up. I do that quite a bit with these colts. After they run, if they're a little bit pressured, I'll get them out and just go work outside with them and do, maybe get them out on the desert or follow some steers, stuff to bring that pressure off, things like that. Did I answer your question?
Yes. No, that's great. It sounds like there's some consistency there with terms of, finding drills to help them find the right way to do it and not feeling like they're in trouble. So would you feel like that contributes to being able to work with these horses that are bred to run and they're bred to do the job, kind of helping them want to find that success? Is that how you would phrase your training philosophy?
That's a good way to phrase it. I do believe that, because I think those horses, if you get them really upset and they feel like they're in trouble, they're going to make more mistakes. We always joke about before I go in, I don't want to put additional pressure. It's because I think sometimes when people are nervous, we've probably all had this experience, and your horse is kind of being fussy and doing something. Sometimes there's a temptation to kind of set them down hard or kind of get after them right there. But we laugh because we think that getting into a little fight with them at that juncture, it can almost promise you a tip barrel. It gets them upset, and they're not listening to you. They're more worried about everything. So my kids take it. I have one son that's helped me a lot. He takes it to a whole new level, and he goes, just let them bite and kick you. Don't hit them before they have to run. But that's not true exactly. Anyway.
You mentioned your son. Now you and Randy have 6 children. Tell me about what family life looks like for you guys these days with your children and your grandchildren. I know that's a great love of both of yours.
Yeah. It's a really fun time when we all get together. They're at that stage where the kids are all adults. They all have little families, and you know how busy everybody is. And so, and they've kind of teased us when they first all, kind of had gone their directions. Our son came to see us one time, and he said, you're supposed to be having empty nest syndrome, and we can never find you home. So everybody just keeps pretty busy, and then we have parties where we get together, and it's really fun. It's great, the things they're involved with. I love to watch the sports that they do, and they're all involved in something different. So we watch ball games, and we, get a lot of videos because we travel a lot. And so the parents are great. They keep us updated on what's happening. It's a lot of fun. It's fun to have adult children, people I'd pick for friends.
And isn't that the goal? I mean, you want to navigate that transition to adulthood, and like you said, really enjoy your kids, your adult kids, be friends with them. So, and 22 grandchildren, is that right?
Grandchildren, yes, 22 grandchildren, and that's been really fun. It's a party when they get together.
And sounds like very competitive too. We were talking a little bit before we hit record, and describe Thanksgiving, competitive Thanksgiving.
Okay. Well, it's dinner at the Rockford School, and everybody, chips in, and it's like a potluck, and we have crock pots and everything set up. So we have dinner. After dinner, we play basketball. We play lightning. We play dodgeball. We play, and it's a competitive game. It's not like we let the little kids win. We all they're expected to play. But I think everybody it's the funnest thing we changed is when we started having dinners that were like basketball and things like that.
Yeah. Not a lot of people love to sit still in your family, it sounds like. My final question for you, and this is just a little more of a nuanced question. I enjoy asking people this question, but I feel like over the years, when you're aiming to achieve mastery in something, in this example, barrel racing, you pick up those little things that you do, maybe you do every time as part of a routine, or just those little tips and not necessarily tricks, but just little best practices that you've picked up along the way. Could you share one or two of those with us, of those things that maybe people don't see, but you feel make a big difference for your program?
Yeah. One of the things that I feel like makes a huge difference is I'll tend to isolate the day of the race. Mm-hmm. I try to, and this is just for me, I try to kind of stay out of the talk about the race. And, I've looked at the arena. I've had a time only. I kind of like to have a plan in my mind how I'm going to ride. Mm-hmm. And I feel like if I spend a lot of time talking to a lot of different people, things will get in my head that don't need to be there. Worries, like the ground or this or that or the next thing. And so that's one of the things. And Randy and I are both, we both protect my time, that time before the race. And I just don't interact with a lot of other people at that time. I try to focus on my horse. I feel like that makes a huge difference if that's what's mainly in your mind, and not worrying about, how something looks or what someone else did. I like it when my friends run good. It makes me feel good, but I try not to get caught up in anything like that before I run.
That's wonderful wisdom, and I hope we all take note of that, and that it encourages people to find what really works for them and what helps them perform the best and helps their horse perform the best. So, Vauna, you're just a gem. I enjoy visiting. Thank you so much for making the time.
It's always really fun to talk to you. You make it easy. Appreciate you.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, back to the barrel racing.